Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And today was a Sunday, and I actually have quite a few reflections that I want to share from this day, which was interesting because basically I was sleep deprived for the most day. And basically, the first thing that I want to talk about is this idea of like some reflections on this state of sleep deprivation. So the reason that I've been thinking about this is that yesterday and today I was sleep deprived because I did not sleep that much overall because I was working on this thing, and yeah. Anyway, and basically this morning when I woke up, because I was sleep deprived, I didn't really feel like reading or doing anything. And it got me thinking about why does our society glorify sleep deprivation? Because you can hear people like Casey Neistat in the days where he was daily vlogging, or David Goggins and other people who talk about, waking up at these crazy hours even though they slept late, which I myself struggle to do. Like, that's very hard for me. Like, today was, for the first part of the day, my brain was just all over the place. And it got me thinking. So, sleep deprivation actually affects your mental abilities and actually prevents you from context switching. And I think this has a surprising upside, which is basically you can't really task switch easily, which is actually a good thing because it forces you to just do one thing. Okay, so for me this morning, I was basically yesterday I was up late working on trying to fix these integration tests I've been trying to fix. And basically this morning the first thing that I did is try to work on that, and I couldn't think about anything else, and I couldn't get myself to read as I usually do when I'm having breakfast. And I was just thinking about this whole idea of sleep deprivation, and basically this from this fact that context switching is extremely hard when you're sleep deprived. You can use it to your advantage to only focus on the most important thing of your day. And I think this is probably where this whole cultural thing comes from, glorifying sleep deprivation. And I have myself sensed it. And also, like, being sleep deprived is a bit like being drunk. I've never been drunk because I don't drink. But some studies, like I was reading this Brian Johnson email yesterday about, basically the email is called "How I Fixed My Terrible Sleep," and I think he put out a YouTube video. I don't watch his stuff anymore because I don't know, I'm not super into like the way that he's communicating. But basically this was interesting, like from the newsletter. Basically, being, like, this is a quote from his newsletter: being constantly awake for 18 or 24 hours is equivalent to having a blood alcohol content of 0.05 or 0.1 respectively. So 18 hours is the equivalent of 0.05 blood alcohol level, and being awake for 24 hours is equivalent to having 0.1 blood alcohol level. And basically in the US, 0.08 is considered legally intoxicated. So if you're up for more than 24 hours at a time, then you're technically very drunk. It's the equivalence of being very, very drunk. And I can definitely, like, I don't know what it feels like to be drunk, but that feeling of being awake for a really long time, like, basically it just gets me in a state of like where I start to hallucinate. Like, really, I mean, I know times where I would stay up all night because I was traveling and stuff, and then I would be in the train or in the taxi, and I would be almost like in this dreamlike state where I'm thinking and half asleep, and yeah, but it's also like a very interesting state because I don't know, it just kind of brings forward this aspect of, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels kind of, first of all, really tiring, but also like kind of takes you away from the day to day, which occasionally I think this week I'll have no choice but to do that because I'm traveling to Morocco, and basically I haven't started packing, and the next 2 days I'm gonna be working quite hard. So probably won't have that much time to pack until like the very last minute. So we'll see. But I just thought this was very interesting. And this kind of just takes me back to this point that probably the maybe hidden advantage, I mean, this needs to be obviously validated by research. I'm just making a hypothesis based on my experience this morning with being sleep deprived, is that I had this singular focus on this one thing, and it was really, really hard for me to context switch, which can be used as a good thing because basically, when you're well rested, you kind of you're kind of overconfident in your ability to context switch, and that gives you like permission to kind of context switch more. Whereas actually you should be just focused most of the time on just one thing, and basically allows, like, when you're well rested and you have this ability to context switch, actually allows for distraction to kind of come in and prevent you from doing the most important things that you need to do. So yeah, I just thought this was an interesting thing from like, this was just something that I thought about this morning while I was feeling not that, like, I was feeling very sleepy, but I was awake because I had some stuff to do. So yeah, that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and then the second thing is just maybe like some takeaways that I've taken notes of from listening to, I think, 3 episodes of the Founders podcast today. I know in a previous episode I kind of gave like constructive criticism about this podcast, but generally this is one of my favorite podcasts. That's why I wanted to give the constructive criticism. It's just information, or like just something that I thought about, which if this guy, the owner of this, like David Senra, really wants to help his audience, like, here's the specific thing. But anyway, just some takeaways that I've taken notes of from listening to so many episodes. I listened to the episode, I'm gonna list for you the episodes that I listened to. Episode 355, which was about Bernard Arnault, who's basically the founder of LVMH, which is the biggest luxury. I think at some point, I don't know if he is right now, he was the richest person in the world. But anyway, he's consistently the richest, like among the richest people in the world. And that's all thanks to the luxury brands of. So that's one of the episodes. I then listened to this episode on Intel founder. I'm gonna tell you his name. What's his name? Intel founder Bob Noyce. Noyce. So this is episode 356. And then episode 357 with Haruki Murakami, who's apparently a fiction writer and also a runner. And I just thought, okay, I need to probably listen to the memoir that this guy wrote, that the episode was about, because when I come back from Morocco and like my travels to Spain and stuff, I'm gonna be training for my first ever marathon, and as part of that training, I'm gonna be running my third half marathon as a race. But obviously, I'll be running more than the half marathon distance. I think at least 3 or 4 times, and basically my third half marathon will be the first time that I will run more than that half marathon distance in 1 year plus. Yeah, I think it's 1 year exactly, because I did the exact same half marathon last year, and that was my second half marathon ever. So that's I thought, okay, this is amazing, super cool, and I definitely need to read some more stuff about physical endurance and stuff like this, because I need to prepare my mind to take on hard stuff, which kind of reminds me of something that I want to talk about at the end of this episode, which is this video that I watched today by Nick Bear. So basically, Nick Bear and his content team, BPN content team. So BPN stands for Bear Performance Nutrition. That's his basically business. And basically, like, they have really good content. It's so good, it's so inspiring. And basically, in this video, he paces this ultra runner, Sally McRae, for her fourth 100-mile Western States 100-mile, which is an iconic 100. I think it's the most iconic from, if I can remember correctly from the video, most iconic 100 miler in the US, or maybe in the world. I have no idea, but it was so good. I'm gonna talk about it in a second. So the third episode that I listened to was episode 357 on Haruki Murakami, and basically his memoir is called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, a memoir by Haruki Murakami. And in the end, I finished listening to episode 350, which I had started before, on how to sell like Steve Jobs. And yeah, just these are all of the content that I like, all of the episodes that I listened to today, because I went on a 2-hour walk and I was just listening to these guys, to these episodes, which are super good. Honestly, I'm super grateful to have found this podcast. It's genuinely one of my absolute favorite podcasts. I'm learning so much, and yeah, I'm so glad that I have all of this backlog of episodes that I've not listened to, that I can go back and listen to, and hopefully over time, like, given that we forget stuff, have this huge backlog of episodes to go back to and re-listen to if I want to. So just some cool takeaways from these episodes. So basically, I think something that really struck me is the episode with Haruki Murakami, which has a lot of really good insights about doing things that you genuinely enjoy, and that are in line with your authentic self. And basically, it talks about this idea that you cannot fake who you are over the long term. And this is an idea that I keep coming back to, because like, it's really hard for, like, probably you've seen it on this channel, is that the more time passes, the more honest I can be about my experience, the more vulnerable I can be about just some of the things that are really not easy for me to talk about. And yeah, basically over time in these episodes, I kind of like become okay with who I am, and you will be able to see who I genuinely am, because I cannot fake who I am over a long period of time. And given that I plan on doing this for a really, really long period of time, you will little by little see the, like the kind of person I am, and I'm also reminding myself of uh, who I am, my values, and what I stand for. So this really resonated with me. And basically, he said there was another thing that I thought was really, really is this idea that emotional hurt is the price a person has to pay to be independent. And I'm like, what the heck? This is so good, because this this specific quote is just something that I wish I knew before. Because for the past 3 to 4 years, I've kind of become more and more independent as a person. And it has not been easy. And for the past year and a half, I've been documenting this journey on this channel, Rita Talks. I've been filming every day almost. And obviously I'm spreading out the like the posting of these videos, and I think probably this video will come out in 2 years, because I'm posting 2 videos per week at my current posting rate. At the time that I'm filming this, I don't know how fast it will be at the time that you're watching this. But basically, it has been a very hard journey for me, because I've just had to accept a lot of things about the people around me, and just learn to be okay with being alone, and learn to deal with the loneliness that sometimes feels really, really intense. And learn to really rely on myself, because I genuinely believe that if I am to be happy around people, I need to be happy on my own, and that's my number one priority, is to be happy on my own, to learn to be happy on my own, to just be my most joyous self, and have that be in a way that is not reliant on any external factors. And actually, Rita Talks is a big part of allowing me to do that, because I just figured, okay, let me use my past self to kind of cheer up my future self where I'm not feeling that good. And so Rita Talks is my mechanism for doing that. On top of all of the self-learning, learning about myself, reading, reflection, all of that stuff, this is just something that I just thought, okay, this is like, I can just rely on my past self, on the ups, the good days, to kind of lift myself up when I'm not feeling so good. So, this specific point, emotional hurt is the price a person has to pay to be independent, is just so spot on. And yeah, just really, really resonated with me. And the last thing along these lines is basically this idea that the public praises people for what they practice in private. And actually, I forgot to mention, I also listened to the episode on Michael Jordan. And I think it was, the name of the episode is called Michael Jordan in His Own Words. And let me tell you what's the number of that episode, which I'm not able to find for some reason. Oh yeah, I think it was yeah, it's a replay episode from a previous episode, so it doesn't have a number. But it's between episode 348 and episode 349. So I guess I'll just call it 348 and a half on Michael Jordan. And yeah, basically this idea that the reps that you put in private, the reps that people don't see, are what will basically set the ground for anything that people will start to praise you for. And they won't see how hard it was to get there. They will just praise that you got there without really understanding what it took to get there. So I just thought that was a very powerful idea, which also kind of reminds me of Rita Talks, because almost no one in my life knows that I'm doing this. And basically how I've improved my ability to convey my ideas over the long term. Like I'm starting to see it, that people are noticing, but they don't know why, and they just assume that this comes naturally to me, but it doesn't, because this is, I think, episode for like Rita Talks number 400 and something, and I'm nowhere near done with this. So yeah, just that makes me excited. It's what I practice in private through Rita Talks and working on myself and reading and all of this stuff is what people will praise without really understanding what it took to get to that. And it kind of reminds me of this idea that I listened to from the episode on how to sell like Steve Jobs, episode 350, which is that what is it? I don't know where it got off, but I was just saying that this idea that the public praises people for what they practice in private kind of reminded me of this idea that I came across in the episode number 350 on how to sell like Steve Jobs. This idea that it takes a lot of effort to make something look effortless. And yeah, I just like it all kind of ties into one thing. It's like you're seeing these common themes between all of these exceptional people, and you kind of starting to see the common point, the commonalities, and it's really rewarding to learn from all of these people and their insights. So I'm super grateful to have found this podcast in general, and just thank you, David Senra, for making these really good podcast episodes that I really, really, really enjoy listening to. It's probably my podcast of the year, is like my podcast discovery of the year. I think it's this one. It's just incredible. And yeah, the last point that I want to close on is this idea that I also came across on the episode 350 on the Founders Podcast, which is this idea that passion is infectious and belief is irresistible. So you don't need to sell if you truly believe something. Your passion will do the work on its own, but that passion has to be genuine. You have to be genuinely interested, so just follow what interests you. Follow what makes you light up, and just talking about that and the belief in whatever it is that you're saying, in like people can kind of sense when you truly believe something, when it's your truth, and that is what is irresistible, and that's something that I'm learning to lean into more. So yeah, just being genuinely interested, following the things that you're genuinely curious about, and it's that genuine interest and curiosity that is infectious, and that basically are the foundation of your belief. And basically belief is irresistible. So when you have belief, you don't need to sell, you just need to speak. And because you believe it to such a core level, other people will also believe it. So these are the things that I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, as a closing thing, I think I spoiled a bit earlier, but huge appreciation to David Senra for the Founders podcast. It's genuinely one of my favorite podcasts. As I mentioned, I think it's the podcast of the year, or at least the podcast of the quarter. It's incredible. I just love it so much. And another note of appreciation is for all of the content that Nick Bear has been putting out, the BPN team has been putting out. It's just so inspiring. And the video that I watched today, where Nick is pacing Sally McRae on her fourth Western States 100 miler, that's just so inspiring. And I love watching this kind of content, and it's very timely given that in about a month, or about a month or so, I will start training for my first ever marathon. Just super grateful for all of these people that just give so much, that allow me to learn so much. I'm super grateful to have people like this in the world that I can learn from, and that can inspire me and like force me to push the boundaries in my head of what I think is possible. And yeah, just genuinely grateful for this, and it just makes me so hopeful for the future. So these are the things that I wanted to talk about for today, for real. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, so the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!